Hey everyone, we are Team 6. Today we are going to present on round robin scheduling. It is one of the most popular and simple CPU algorithms used in operating systems. Our team members are Tota Janvi, Deekshita, and Saiti. What is round robin scheduling? Round robin is one of the simplest and most widely used CPU algorithms. In this method, each process is assigned a fixed time slice which is called time quantum. After using it, After using its time, a process is moved to the end of the ready queue, and in the next process gets the CPU. This cycle continues until the process are finished. It ensures fairness because every process gets an equal share of CPU. Round robin is ideal for time sharing time sharing systems where quick response is important. However, the efficiency depends on the chosen time quantum. If it's too small, there will be too many context switches. If it's too large, it behaves like first come first served algorithm. Now let's see the flowchart. First, a process is selected from the ready queue. If the process completes its execution within the time quantum, it is terminated. If not, the CPU is taken away after the time quantum expires and the process is placed at the end of the queue. Then the next process gets the CPU and the cycle continues. This circular execution ensures that no processes start from CPU time.
Common scheduling is preemptive because each process runs for a fixed time quantum. When the time expires, the CPU forcibly interrupts the running process, even if it's not finished. That process is then moved to the end of the ready queue and the next process gets the CPU. This ensures that all processes get an equal share of CPU time and that no single process can hold the CPU for too long. It's mainly used in time sharing systems where quick and fair response is needed, and the key features are: every process gets equal CPU time in a cyclic order, prompting fairness. The time quantum determines system efficiency. If it's too small, then there are more context switches. If it's too long, it behaves like FCFS scheduling. It provides good responsiveness and is ideal for interactive or multi-user systems. Also, no process starves as each one gets CPU access regularly. Overall, it's a simple, fair, and effective scheduling method.
When we talk about advantages of round robin scheduling, it ensures fairness as every process gets an equal share of CPU time. There is no starvation since all processes get regular turns. It's simple and easy to implement using a queue system. The method is good for time sharing systems, giving quick responses for interactive tasks. It's also predictable and preemptive. So even new or high priority process get CPU time without long waits. Let's talk about disadvantages of round robin scheduling. It has high contact switching overhead, which can reduce efficiency. The performance depends on the time quantum. As we talked before, if it's too small, there are too many contact switches. If it's too large, it acts like FCFS. It's not suitable for priority tasks, and large processes may take longer because they need multiple cycles to finish. So, overall, round robin is fair and responsive, but efficiency depends on choosing the right time quantum. When we see example here, we have like four process 1, 2, 3, 4. It has arrival times like 0, 1, 2, 3, and they have given a burst time 2. So we have a time quantum 4 milliseconds. So we have to calculate completion time, turnaround time, and waiting time. Here process 1 have arrival time 0 and the burst time is 10 milliseconds, but we have time quantum 4 milliseconds, so we can calculate till 4. So it's like 0 to 4, and process 2 it has 1 and 4 milliseconds, so is it 4 plus 4 8. So like we are calculating like that, we have to calculate like till every process gets completed. So how to calculate turn, so we have to write the completion time. Like here we have given the times, right? We have to give the completion time. Then turnaround time is completion time minus arrival time. That is a turnaround time we get. And Waiting time is turnaround time minus burst time. So by calculating that, we'll get all this. Thank you.